today's podcast, we chat with Carlos Herrera and Philippe Adam of Johnson & Johnson Vision. Carlos serves as a global program manager, while Philippe is the company's director of global commercial excellence and strategic insights. To start off, Philippe and Carlos, I'd like to ask you about your current roles at Johnson & Johnson. What are your positions and what do the positions involve?
So this is Philippe. So my current title at Johnson & Johnson is Director of Commercial Excellence and Strategic Insights, which sounds like a mouthful, but what I'm really responsible for is helping the company understand how it's performing, how the business is performing from a commercial point of view regarding its sales. Are we reaching our sales target? And making sure that our commercial organization has all the tools and information it needs so that it can go out and be successful selling to reach those goals.
Carlos Herrera here. Thank you for the invitation. I'm the Global Program Manager in the supply chain organization. I'm responsible for improving processes. We have 9 manufacturing sites, and my responsibility is to look for opportunities in each. I work closely with teams in each of the sites across the globe and look for opportunities that we can leverage and have cost reduction for improving processes primarily. Our products are focused on ophthalmology, like intraocular lenses, as well as equipment like LASIK for eye surgery.
Outside of Johnson & Johnson, I know you both serve as advisors, partners with other companies. To start with you, Carlos, and you can both answer this, what criteria do you put out there for choosing a new company to advise?
Yeah, great question. I always look at the actual mission of that company, and if it relates with my passion. I have worked with healthcare over 15 years now, and certainly that's one of the areas that, number one, I have an expertise on, and also including life sciences, but also a passion for. I believe healthcare is in the core of human progress. It's very hard to actually make any progress of any sort or advance in any type of technology if we are not healthy. So reason being why I'm in Johnson & Johnson, and I work with other companies, other people in other companies that are looking for my expertise for advice.
Yeah, I guess on my end, it's a mix of both. Myself looking for companies I want to advise, but also what companies maybe might be looking for advisors like myself. And then in that case, is there a fit with my interests? And what's key is can I add something of value to that company that I'm going to advise that's going to be beneficial to them, and also from my end beneficial to me, meaning something where I feel I can make a difference. And I'm generally interested in companies that are out there trying to disrupt things, with new technology, new business models, kind of industry agnostic. But again, folks where I feel I can make a difference either with my experience, my connections, and so forth.
Well, it sure seems like you both are very busy between the day job of Johnson & Johnson and obviously the other opportunities that are out there. And I know you both studied at some elite institutions, having both graduated from the Wharton School, and Philippe on your side, having been through NYU, Caltech, and then Carlos for you, Stevens Institute of Technology. Tying it back to KGI and your history here in collaborating with us, what impresses you about Keck Graduate Institute? And we'll start with you, Philippe.
I mean, I guess you call them elite institutions, but what's at the heart of all this institution, and what impresses me also about KGR are the students, right? So it's the students that make these institutions elite, so to say, institutions, and that's where their reputation lies. And what I enjoy about KGI, and especially again the students at KGI, is these are it's their background, their interest not only on the medical side, the bio side, and really wanting to learn more, but also not only restricting themselves as to at the science piece, the engineering piece, but also wanting to learn about the business aspect, the quality aspect, the regulatory aspect, and really wanting to make a difference not only in the research community, the academic community, but also on the business community, and really go out there and do things very differently with the new skills that they learn. And that's kind of what I like about the students here. Really curious about just everything about the medical device, the healthcare industry, and bio.
Yeah, I really enjoy working with KGI in the past, and what I like the most is actually a third-party look at the projects and the challenges we have. Someone in a group of people that are looking at it from a different perspective. Sometimes when we have our current challenges, we're looking at and we're absorbed and we're looking very closely to those challenges. But it's very refreshing to have someone coming out and looking at it from a different angle altogether. I also really enjoy working with the faculty advisors. in particular projects that I have worked in the past, they work in the companies that I was with. So they really understood the dynamics about what we're doing there. And it was fantastic to work with them as well. So it was a nice combination between the faculty advisor that was already knowledgeable about the challenges we have, but also the students that have a third-party perspective, if you would, and a very independent perspective that really facilitate the problem resolution process as well as the ideation process on how to go about the challenge.
For those that are listening, but they won't be able to attend today's presentation here on the KGI campus, what are a couple key takeaways from your talk that you might want to share?
Key takeaways about my talk. I guess there's a couple takeaways. One is about the company itself, and working for J&J, I think it's a company that has a passion about helping people, live better lives. And, you have to have, I think every employee that's part of the company really shares that passion to really want to make a difference out there. And that's, and I think a lot of companies have that, especially if you are in healthcare, you really have to kind of internalize that, and that has to be part of the things that motivate you. And and that's maybe from the company perspective a takeaway. And the other takeaway is maybe a more personal one. If people want career advice, is how do I get into this kind of company or this kind of industry? Maybe I don't have the right background or the right education. I don't know. And my takeaway for that is really doesn't matter, right? You really have to go after what you really want to do and what you feel passionate about, and try to convince kind of people that that's what you want to do. And you convince people by doing, right? And I think that's the other thing I'd like to leave to people if they can't participate, is it doesn't really matter what your background is. I think all of us, even at KGI, we're all smart people and, very motivated. And I would say just go for it.
From a career perspective, the 4 areas that I like to share with students and colleagues actually are those 4 areas of what you love, what you're good at, what the world needs, and what the world is willing to pay. If those 4 are actually in sync and actually are harmonized, if you would, and you have that sweet spot, and imagine these 4 areas intersecting, and you have all that intersection point and how you purposely go through your career to go into that sweet spot, then you are going to be a happier individual altogether. And by being a happier individual, you're going to contribute better to your company, to your community, to society altogether. And certainly I enjoy working with students from all levels, even high school, and for them, to encourage them to go to STEM type of careers. And the other takeaways for you students here in KGI, share your knowledge with people that perhaps are not in the field and that you see that there's a potential for them to be in the field. Many times people don't have role models to see and to follow. And whenever you have that opportunity, share your knowledge. A lot has been given to you. It's expected that a lot is taken from you. So you can actually, it's a give and take altogether.
As we wind down, obviously the KGI students have a wide range of mentors here in the faculty and the industry leaders that come in like yourselves. Can you mention any mentor or mentors that have been instrumental in your path to success? And we'll start with you, Carlos.
When I joined industry, I had the privilege to join actually a program that was a 2-year program, a leadership development program that had 4 different rotations. That was back with General Electric. And that was a great opportunity to connect with mentors there. So it was a very organized way on how we connect. And I'm still in touch with them. And it's amazing the impact that they created. To me specific, I'm thinking one of them. And it's just fantastic that we have kept over the years, over the decades actually, to go over and keep in touch, throughout. And like I was saying earlier, a lot of mentorship has been given to me. So that's why I feel actually obligated, if you would, also to share what other people have done before. And at any level, I think we have common questions. We have common uncertainties, regardless of the career level. And a mentor is simply a person that helped us through something that perhaps was experienced before, and that was an uncertainty for them before. So certainly these mentors have made a huge difference for me. And the great thing is that I have kept in touch with them. By the way, I have kept in touch with the KGI students too, so that's fantastic too that I have kept in touch with KGI students that I have worked in the past with.
I guess from my end, some people that I would say maybe would be role models or mentors or people that have influenced me or that I've kind of looked up to. I'd maybe count my graduate school advisor from Caltech as someone who has really helped me, keep things in perspective, right? Doesn't matter where you end up or if you're successful on your career or not, or, where you end up working, or if you become CEO of a company. It's really what he's taught me is always to kind of keep things down to earth, right? And treat everyone with respect, work well with it. And it taught me a lot about teamwork and how, again, to always keep things in perspective. If you're do things you enjoy, right? And make sure that percolates across your organization, and that also translates down to teamwork, and make sure everyone feels like they're part of like a well-respected kind of environment, and that helps produce good results for everyone. And I'd be amiss if I didn't mention one of your board members who, maybe I'd count him as a mentor, Jim Whittegren, if he's listening, but he was also always great, when I used to work at Beckman Coulter, and he was the one who introduced me to KGI, but also someone who was always, full of sound, good business advice and, general career advice. And I always, once in a while, like to poke his brains for his thoughts on things. Always someone that's always helped a lot.
Well, thanks to you both for being down to earth and inspirational through the years for our students. And we're excited to continue to see the impact both from your mentorship of our students and also for our students to go out and help J&J as they develop all these exciting projects and initiatives. So thanks to you both, Carlos and Philippe, for joining us on the podcast.